All right, thanks, guys. Still, still very, very tough. Processing kind of everything that took place on Saturday. Tough outcome for our team, and obviously a lot of good things that happened throughout the day, and putting ourselves in a position to win the football game, but just unable to finish and get the desired outcome that we wanted. I still wholeheartedly believe in our ability to go out and execute and win football games. I think there's a lot to build off of, but at the same time, still, a lot of things we can correct. Some critical errors at certain times in the game that really, hurt our chances of coming away with a much-needed win, and we've got to find a way to go back to work and get ready for a very, very difficult challenge with the Detroit Lions coming in. Very excited to be back at US Bank Stadium and have our fans get that place rocking. And our football team has a ton still to play for. It's all about this week and this week's opportunity, and we'll go about attacking that one when we get going here this week with our guys. Wanted to give you guys an update just on Jonathan Bullard, talking after the game about his ankle injury. He is day-to-day and should be able to get some work in and progress to hopefully having him available on Sunday. And as well, we will be opening Jordan Hicks's window to practice starting tomorrow, and I'll keep you guys posted as far as his availability for Sunday. But I know Jordan's very excited to get back on the field with our guys, and couldn't be more excited to have him have the opportunity to do that. He's put in a lot of hard work with Tyler and Uriah and our trainers, and to get back to this point, and I know all of our guys are looking forward to that. Also, just want to provide an update. We will be starting Nick Mullens at quarterback this week. I thought Nick did a lot of really good things in the football game on Saturday, moved the team. We had our first 100-yard rusher of the season, Nick over 300 yards. All positive things, and Nick knows we also need to, try to limit those and eliminate those, critical errors where we turn the football over in the red zone with chances for points twice there in the football game. And Nick will continue to work towards that, but I think with another good week of preparation and building upon the positive things he did last Saturday, my expectation is Nick's going to go out and play really well for us this weekend.
We'll start with Ben, and then Dave, and then Andrew.
Yeah, Kevin, there's obviously been a lot of talk about the push sneaks since Saturday, and looked like you guys were in 11 personnel on the first couple times you snuck it as well. But looking at those last two, if you were going to do it again, would you put a heavier personnel group out there or change the pusher, or did you feel like that didn't really matter that much in the final result of the plays?
I think anytime a play doesn't work out, Ben, you're always going to look at, what we could have done differently. There was a reason behind what we were trying to get done. It had some effectiveness earlier on in the game when we were able to do that, albeit off a tempo, which was the preferred method. I think, in that situation, the best thing is always to, get big, especially from the standpoint of the guys potentially pushing. But at the same time, we had seen on tape some things that Cincinnati would do, possibly zeroing up the nose over Garrett in some bigger groupings, and thought that might limit our ability to get that initial surge, which is the most important thing, regardless of the push. On the quarterback sneak play, we saw that kind of play out earlier on in the football game. We just didn't get it done in that moment. We've been pretty successful with the sneak play and pretty successful overall in those short yardage situations this year. But all that means absolutely nothing when you don't get it done in that moment. And inevitably it's on me, and I got to give our guys the best possible chance to have success in that moment, and we didn't get it done, and Cincinnati capitalized on it and won the football game.
Kevin, what's Alex Madison's outlook for this week? And even if he is back, would you see Ty Chandler continuing to start?
Yeah, Alex is going to try to work himself, back this week. We'll see how he does throughout the week. There's no question that I thought Ty had a huge role and impact on the game the other day, and we've been, giving Ty more and more carries, throughout the middle part of the season, especially going back to, losing Cam Akers for the duration of the year. Ty is, absolutely a guy that is going to continue to see a featured role in our offense. What that looks like moving forward, as far as who gets the first touch of the game and all those things, we'll continue to kind of work through based upon what we're attempting to do scheme-wise. But there's no question that we have confidence in Alex. But I think Ty's done a lot of great things and will continue to do so, and hopefully will be a huge reason why we're able to have success offensively down the stretch here.
Hey, Kevin, just in general, are there any updates on those three guys you missed on Saturday, and O'Neal, Madison, and Naylor? Yeah,
Madison's going to, continue, progressing. He's been getting kind of treatment around the clock to try to see if he can work himself into being available for this week. Brian O'Neal's in the same category, and we'll just kind of be day to day as we progress towards the game. As far as their availability early in the week, don't know that for sure yet for practice availability. And then Jalen Naylor continues to work himself through the protocol, and we'll allow the doctors to kind of clear him as he goes, and when he's available, hopefully we can get him back out there. But I don't have an update as far as what that looks like for Sunday. It would just be speculating at this point on those three guys, but I know all three of them, are doing everything they can to try to get out there.
Kevin, Don, and Alec.
Yeah, Kevin, I was just wondering if you could just kind of take us through your sort of plan for Ty Chandler's development this year. As you said, he was starting to get more carries. That kind of corresponded with injuries. Did you see him getting on the field kind of regardless, or did it need to be opened up? His opportunity need to be opened up by injuries to others?
No, I saw Ty getting on the field regardless. It's always been, kind of his plan since we selected him last year. We've had our eyes on continued growth and development, and I know, nobody gets more excited than when I see Ty go out there and have the success he did. But it has been, a part of his growth and process. And, as great as Ty was running the football the other day, there were some great moments in protection on some play passes where, he solidified some things for us, had great awareness of the looks we were playing against, whether it was going fast in tempo situations, tried to get him going on a screen, got him going out of the backfield for a big 3rd and short conversion. It's just all of the different aspects that I think Ty brings to the table, Kevin, and his comfort level, while also, having a major role, for in the special teams phase as our personal protector. I'm not sure if I'm, faking it twice this year in big situations if Ty Chandler's not the guy with the ball in his hands in those moments. So Ty's had a big impact, and like I said, I think Ty is exactly, where we want him to be in his progression, and I think the role, he's ascending to is something that we had our minds on when we brought him here, and we'll continue to do everything to get him valuable touches and make him a big part of our offense.
Don, you're on mute. Alec, go ahead and jump in. We'll circle back to Don in a second.
Yeah, hey, Kevin. I just wondered, how difficult maybe has it been for you to evaluate some of these performances when it is one or two plays that seemingly have such outsized importance in so many of these games?
Yeah, Alec, I think you have to take a look at it through the lens of each individual play, whatever phase of your team that it is, how that relates to the sequence of plays. If we find ourselves in a 3rd and long, how did we get there? Maybe the execution on that 3rd and long isn't what we want, but was it a critical breakdown on 1st and 10, or like the other day, 2nd and 1 in the red zone, and we inevitably find ourselves in a 3rd and 7 or 8 after, the execution wasn't what we wanted, and maybe the potential of having a positive play there that ultimately would have gave us a new set of downs inside the 10, and maybe it's a whole different story. But I think it's important that we look at it from a lens of, each individual player. What are we asking them to do within their roles and responsibilities, snap in and snap out, offensively and defensively, and then how do we kind of continue to shape game plans to maximize the players we do have available, the things that they do well, and then how are we practicing and preparing our guys to inevitably go out there and have the success, on Sundays. So I think it's it's an ongoing process that we're, trying to make sure that we're checking a lot of boxes and getting our guys ready to go. And then are we doing the things that our guys do well and giving them ops to thrive when it matters?
Is it me now, John?
Yes.
Okay, thanks. Sorry, I wouldn't unmute. Sorry about that, Kevin.
It's okay.
Technology. This is kind of a two-part question. First of all, when you see Nick making those mistakes when they're, especially in the red zone with interceptions, I mean, being a quarterback, a former quarterback yourself, sometimes those are decision-making. Is there anything that you also saw watching those tapes that maybe he was doing wrong when it comes to maybe forcing those throws, or were they just bad throws? And also, second, your evaluation of Justin Jefferson after that game.
Yeah, as you guys have heard me say before, I think each individual, turnovers in general, have their own story. I thought the first interception, he was being aggressive, kind of expecting, versus man-to-man coverage for maybe, our receiver there, JJ, to flatten across there. And, a lot of times quarterbacks are throwing those with the anticipation of where guys are going to be, especially how fast Nick made that decision. That's something that ultimately we look at as, we can't have those turnovers, especially in the red zone, in field goal range, on a 3rd and longer situation. It's just managing those situations and understanding, the value of that play and the opportunity there, to understand that if we maintain possession of the football at the very least on that down, we're going to have an opportunity at points. And I think that's the critical thing when you look at what 3 or 6 more points would have looked like on Saturday. It could have been the difference between not even going to overtime or at all. With the second one, I thought it was a classic case of a guy just trying to do too much. We tried to give him an opportunity to see if we can convert once again on a 3rd and longer situation after kind of being in a 2nd and 1 type of situation off of a completion. And then, we go backwards into a 3rd and long, and then Nick just trying to do too much with the football. He's in the grasp of a defender. There's really not a lot of good things that can happen at that moment. Even trying to get the ball thrown away puts the ball at risk on your way to the ground there, where it's not your standard interception where it's a downfield op where a defender makes a play on the ball. That was more of almost a borderline fumble variety that gets labeled an interception at that moment. But still, nonetheless, a very poor decision. And those are the things that, you have to manage the situation as the quarterback out there, understanding we've got a 3-point opportunity for Greg no matter what happens right now, as long as we maintain possession of the football. And when you're able to drive down there like we were able to do most of the day, sustain drives, get down into deep into Cincinnati's territory there, you'd like to come away with points every single time you get those opportunities. You'd love touchdowns first and foremost, but if you get yourselves behind the chains and it's a longer yardage situation and the play is just not there within the rhythm that the pocket allows there, we've got to maintain possession of the football and guarantee at least an opportunity at getting 3 points right there. And, we coached Nick up on that. It was, his first significant real op of playing a whole football game. And like I said, there was a lot of positives that came out of his performance, things that we can build on. And there's always going to be those coachable moments that we've got to find a way to limit those turnovers, because, we know what that stat looks like when we do lose the turnover battle. However you get there, we've found a lot of success when we win that battle, or at least break even. And decision making and understanding the risk reward of how you play your position, especially at the quarterback position, is everything that we're talking about right now. And then as far as Justin, I did think Justin really responded to, got very limited work in the Vegas game, and then came out and played, just about the entire football game for us. And he's still working through getting back to, game-like conditioning to where he can, truly be, 100% every single snap. But I thought he made some huge plays, some great catches, some difficult catches, and having him back on the field really dictated a lot of things that allowed Jordan and TJ to have the ops that they inevitably had in the football game.
Thank you.
We'll close with Craig and then Ben.
Hey, Coach, you mentioned getting Hicks back potentially to the practice window. I know the defense has really put together a nice stretch in his absence, but as far as his ability to help close out games and protect leads and stop a big momentum swing or something like that, what do you think potentially getting that back, and how excited are you to be opening his window with potentially 3 games?
Yeah, I think it's huge. Just what Jordan brings from a communication standpoint in that huddle, or when people are kind of in that 2-minute mode, and he can be an extension of Flo out there as far as getting the call, the checks, the alerts, the communication to all 11 guys. He's got such great rapport with Harry and Metellus and Bynum on the back end, and then making sure the front's dialed in with Daniil and DJ and those interior guys to go have the best rush plan tied in with the coverage. If we're sending a pressure, if we're dropping into coverage, whatever that looks like, you feel ultimately the most comfortable when you've got a veteran presence like Jordan who just has total ownership of what we're doing. And I think IP's been great, in his absence, not only making plays, but, coordinating a lot of those things through the green dot with Flo in his ear. So I think the experience that Ivan gained throughout that time will only help him in his communication kind of in that role when Jordan does come back and those two are side by side, making sure from that linebacker position that we're dialed in. And I know our guys are excited. Jordan is he's the heart and soul as far as the leadership goes on our defense, right alongside Harry and Daniil and Josh Metellus and some of our other guys. So I think anytime you can get a player like that back, we got to get him, some reps this week and see where he's at towards the end of the week. And if we can have him available, I think it'll be a real bonus for us for this week.
Kevin, it looked like on the broadcast, at least, that Brian was kind of trying to get your attention before, I think, the 4th down, and might have been signaling or telling you to take a timeout there. Was that what you talked about on Saturday, trying to make sure that you got clarity on the spot on the 3rd down, or what was going on there that he was telling you to take timeout? Yeah, it was. Flo, him and I were having dialogue in the headset at the time about, whenever you're in overtime, all of those replays are handled, by the officials and the replay assistant and possibly New York. So in those moments, we were making sure kind of together collectively that they had indeed taken a look at every angle because, we were getting some communication from the guys up top that maybe there was a view of it that we might have converted the first down on that 3rd down opportunity. They informed me that it had been confirmed, meaning they had already gone to replay assist and kind of collaborated with New York at the time when they were measuring with the chains. And so we felt like there was no sense of taking the time out in that moment to give them more time when they did in fact tell us, and Flo was absolutely, doing, what I ask of him every game is him and I have constant dialogue about the situation of the game and maybe our dialogue with the referees. And we were just making sure that they had, we wanted to hear that word confirmed, meaning that they had seen what they needed to see, taking a look at all the angles available to confirm that we indeed, did not get the first down because, the side judge on our side, did mark it beyond the line to gain. So, I'm thinking we already had the 1st and 10 and started thinking about that next sequence of downs. And then the side judge on the other side had marked it a little bit further back from that and making it 4th down. But, Bill Vinovich and his crew did a great job communicating in the moment that they were indeed looking at it and that they had confirmed the spot. And so when that happened, there was no need for a timeout in that moment.